This is just what we do to make money. This is not our reason for being. And at the end of the day, none of us are getting out of this alive. So it's about hugging your loved ones and spending time with your friends and family and spending time with your hobbies and enjoying the journey at the same time that we build better companies, but care about your employees. You have to build a company that is so operationally excellent, that is devoid of the entrepreneur's brand, that actually can build so that it's like, who the hell is the owner? Like, we don't really need the owner. The team runs everything. The team makes decisions. The team runs SOPs. The problem is that most founder-run companies are built off of the cult, the kind of cult of leadership, the person's name, they're on the billboards, they're on the whatever, but they haven't built the best company. The best company is going to sell not just based on the P&L and the book value, but also on the Rembrandts in the attic, right? All the other strategic things that add incremental value. As an example, if you and I were walking through Paradise Valley and we both saw a home and you said, I'll pay $5 million for that home, and I walk in and there's 3 other offers on the table for $5 million, and I come in and I say, I'm going to offer 7. You're like, Cameron's an idiot. Why would he offer 7? It's clearly only worth $5 million. Because I'm not looking at the comps. I went up into the attic and saw 2 Rembrandt paintings that are each worth $2 million. So I got a $5 million house and $4 million in paintings. I'm taking the home with all the assets for $7 million. I make 2. Most people are trying to sell their company based on the P&L. I'm trying to sell it based on the leadership team, based on the press that we're getting, based on our SEO, based on the systems and processes that are documented, based on the fact that I don't come to meetings. I took 11 weeks off for the last 3 years in a row and empowered a team and grew a team. But yeah, if I'm there every day and I'm in the media and I'm in the marketing and I'm in the messaging and I'm the rainmaker and I'm making all the decisions, of course you need the founder. So I talked to Jeff Immelt, who is his successor. We were in the green room one time at a speaking event. It's like 12 years ago. And I asked him what was a system that he used that Jack Welch used. I liked a lot of Jack's stuff, but he's also very 1980s, very 1990s. The thing that I like about him is he top grades his team every 6 months. He actually rates all of his employees on a scale of results and values. So I love that. That's not necessarily fire the bottom for 10%. That's about firing people that are not living your company's core values. And most companies will, oh, well, he's my best salesperson, so I don't care if he breaks the core values. No, get rid of your best salesperson who breaks core values, and everyone else will go through brick walls for you. So what Welch was good at was pushing to get people into the handcuff zone, high results, high core values, and then making sure people were in the right seats, very Jim Collins. But anybody who is not living the core values, regardless of results, they're fired. So here's something else that Welch was great at. Jack Welch built Crotonville, which was the Leadership Development Academy and Center for all of the GE employees to go through all the Six Sigma and Lean. That ability to grow people's skills and capacities as a leader was game-changing for GE globally. Most companies don't dumb that. So I launched a course called Invest in Your Leaders, which is the skills that every leader and manager needs to be good at. GE and Jack Welch built out probably the best leadership academy in the world. I'd say McDonald's was right up there. Xerox was right up there. Enterprise also was amazing on culture. They hired the right culture people, and you could feel it every time you went into any Enterprise location. When we were building Boyd Auto Body and Gerber Auto Collision, we partnered with Enterprise because they were just so different. You went into Hertz or Budget or anybody else, you never knew what you were going to get. Enterprise still to this day is predictable. And I like that you said over and over again, because I think what we need to do is have like our 10 core books that we reread every couple of years. Like we should be rereading Good to Great every year or two. We should be rereading Insanely Simple about Apple and Steve Jobs and the obsession around simplicity every year or two. We should be rereading The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team by Kat Lencioni. The 1 Minute Manager, I mean, still to this day, like it's such an easy 2-hour read. It is game-changing when leaders and managers reread Ken Blanchard and Paul Hersey's work from 40 years ago. My website is CameronHerold.com, and it's Herold. By the way, for anybody who's running companies with more than 5 million or greater in revenue, you get your COO into the COO Alliance. Like, let me have my hands on them and work with them. I've got members of the COO Alliance from 17 countries. But all my books are on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. My podcast, The Second Command, is on Apple. We're all out there. If those are your core values, I'd kill you, because you can never have a core value that's a single word The only time I've ever let a client have a single word that for one of their core values, their fifth core value is simplify. I'm like, yes, you're right. That's perfect. But core values have to be very easy to understand. They need no explanation whatsoever. And a single word is confusing. Like, what exactly do we mean? So it's a very short, easy to understand phrase, like thou shalt not kill, right? We get it. Thou shalt not commit adultery. I get it. So simple core values, and you don't get to say a bunch of prayers when you break the core values. You don't do your like, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. Here's some prayers. Go back and keep making the sins. No, you don't break core values. If you break core values, you go work somewhere else, like the government or post office. You have to be willing to fire people who break your core values, and then you have to interview against them, hire people who already live them. I'm obsessed about core values in a company. I'll go to kind of honor John Ruhlin, but it's also been my ending point for probably every media interview I've done for 20 years is that none of this matters. This is just what we do to make money. This is not our reason for being. And at the end of the day, none of us are getting out of this alive. So it's about hugging your loved ones and spending time with your friends and family and spending time with your hobbies and enjoying the journey at the same time that we build better companies, but care about your employees because nobody's caring about their humanity that they're going through. And if we care about our people more than anybody else does, they'll go through brick walls for us to build our company. You know Max Hansen, right? Y Scouts? Max has been in Coeur d'Alene forever. He's based in Scottsdale. He owns the #1 recruiting agency that I've sent people to for 11 years. He's president of the YKO chapter, former president of the EO chapter. He's like friends with all the Thunderbirds. He's just a good salt of the earth, amazing human. He's from Spokane, Washington. I would get someone like Max with Y Scouts because they do culture-based recruiting. He's on the board of Conscious Capitalism with John Mackey. Like, he's the real deal. But if you get someone like Max to do a culture-based recruiting for a COO who's from the industry, like something in the home services space I think is important, or someone who's at least built out multi-unit, multi-chain, multi-city businesses, who's a real people, not HR people, but like a growth people, like someone who can really grow people, grow teams, grow consensus, grow debate, I would go down that path for sure. The COO is supposed to be the brakes, but not the parking brake. We're supposed to be the leash to our dragon, but they're supposed to let us fly. If you're ever finding that they're slowing you down more than need to be, they need to point out obstacles and problems. We need to listen, give them space, but they also need to say, let's go faster. Like a really good COO is about faster and we'll figure it out. Not now. If you can couple that stuff that Dan's doing, so here's the difference. Dan will talk about all of his hobbies all the time. And I think you've got to redo your bucket list and your list of hobbies to find other reasons for being in around it all, and that not compromising your growth, not compromising everything else, but that'll give you a reason for outsourcing everything else too. Because right now, if the only reason for outsourcing all this stuff is to spend more time on the business, you've got something subtly already saying you don't need to spend more time on the business, but you don't know what else to fill your time with.